So we've all been in those matches where we're minding our own business, clearing lanes, and then all of a sudden the enemies start attacking us. Then there's a mark above our heads. That mark. Some of these marks are pretty simple to understand, and then there are those that keep us guessing. That's why in today's video, I'll be explaining the meaning and effects of these head marks. Number 1. The broken shield symbol. Now you've probably come across this one many times in your matches. This symbol is the universal indicator for defense reduction. It means you deal more damage because both the physical and magic defense of the enemy, including their defense items, has been lowered, making them easier to kill. Take a look at this. With the mark active, the damage I deal is 186, but when the mark disappears, my damage drops to 1 in 61. This mark is especially effective against tanky heroes like Atlas and heroes with high regeneration such as Uranus. It's important to note that Daroth's second skill isn't the only ability that can trigger this effect. Many heroes such as Saber with his passive, Xylong's second skill, and Arethel's first skill can all trigger it. I'm not sure why Arethel's broken shield looks different from the others, but what I do know is that it still applies the same effect. Head mark number 2. Mark of the Wild. This one belongs to the muscle mommy herself.
Fight for the ultimate answer.
Hilda. Her head mark can be triggered by basic attacks or skills. It has a maximum of 6 stacks, and what it does is boost the damage of her ultimate.
I will not dishonor the name you gave me. The past is the past.
Here's an example. At maximum stacks, my ultimate deals 2036 damage, but without any stacks, it drops all the way to 634. This shows that her ultimate's damage boost is heavily dependent on the Mark of the Wild stacks. That's why it's always advised to use her first 2 skills before casting her ultimate. Once again, the extra damage from this mark only applies to her ultimate. Head mark number 3. Beta Advance. This unique mark belongs to the Rasta cyborg himself, Alpha. If you've ever played Alpha, or if Alpha has played you, you'll notice that every time he hits an enemy, a silhouette of Beta appears above their head. This is known as the Beta Advance mark. Every time Alpha uses a skill and Beta follows up, half of the mark is applied. When Beta hits the enemy again while that half mark is active, Beta deals extra true damage. When the mark is fully stacked, even basic attacks trigger true damage. This makes Alpha extremely good at finishing off enemies when his skills are on cooldown. Though, if we're being honest, that doesn't happen very often with Alpha. One important thing to remember: basic attacks do not trigger the head mark on enemy, so don't be surprised if the mark doesn't appear above the enemy's head. Beta is the one who applies the mark, not Alpha himself. Every time you cast a skill, the mark only appears when Beta follows up. So make sure your skills actually hit the enemy, but don't worry too much because Beta landing hits isn't very difficult. And of course, in every match and every build you use on Alpha, War Axe should always be part of it. Head mark number 4. Demon Hunter's Mark. This one belongs to ML's Ichigo.
Demons shall bathe in their blood. The light belongs to the righteous.
Alucard. When I asked around on Discord and WhatsApp about Alucard's head mark, everyone gave me the same answer. If you see his mark above you, you're cooked. And honestly, they're not wrong. For every enemy he marks, Alucard gains 10 hybrid defense instantly. At the same time, the enemies he marks lose 30% movement speed and 10 hybrid defense. I guess you could say we just stole their stats. Head mark number 5, Mark of the Ancestors. You've probably already guessed who this belongs to. Mathilda.
Always on the way.
Unlike the other heroes we've talked about, Mathilda can place a mark on herself using her skills. When she uses her first skill, Soul Bloom, a mark appears that informs both allies and enemies that the skill is active. This allows teammates to make better plays and prevents enemies from being caught completely off guard. With her ultimate, she places a crescent mark on the enemy she targets. That mark then transfers to the first enemy knocked airborne during the final phase of her ultimate. Her second skill also triggers a mark, but only on allies. This tells both Mathilda and her teammates that they can use Guiding Wind, allowing them to dash toward her. This mechanic is amazing for saves and teamfight initiation. Head mark number 6, Mark of the Mountain Shocker. This one belongs to Sun-Shin. The mark is triggered by his ultimate and simply informs enemies that their position is visible on the map. That's honestly all I know it does. But if you know more about it, let me know in the comments below. Head mark number 7, Nidus Resolve. This unique mark belongs to none other than the Monian Empress, Silvanna. Her mark can be triggered by both basic attacks and skills. Each stack reduces enemy hybrid defense, both physical and magic, by 3 to 6. When you reach maximum stacks, the mark lights up in a golden color, just like the bird in her ultimate. This mark is extremely effective against squishy heroes like mages and marksmen, and heroes who don't rely much on defense items such as Zilong, Owlus, and Ling. However, heroes like Phoveus, her little brother Diroth, and Lapu Lapu have strong healing mechanics that make it harder for this mark to finish them off. High crowd control heroes like Franco and Grok can also constantly stun Silvanna, preventing her from stacking the mark and unleashing its full potential. There are many more hero head marks to cover in Mobile Legends, so if there are any you'd like me to explain next, let me know in the comments. And with that, I'll see you in the next one, fellow legend.